All creators want a high value music catalog to live off of. The question is, how do you validate that catalog? How do you evaluate the catalog? Who's going to buy the thing? And how are you actually going to live from this thing once people validate it and evaluate it? You know what I'm saying? Problem is, artists don't know the true value of the work that they've just created. It's a speculative thing like, my work is valuable. Yeah, we know it's valuable, but by how much? And we got to figure that out. This is why many feel like they don't really have a shot at making a great catalog that they can actually live from because they don't know the actual monetary value of the catalog. If creatives knew this simple formula, then I feel it would change their minds and their mindset overnight, which is why we're going to get into how you're going to build a $100,000 catalog in 36 months or in the time it takes you to do it. Either way, I'm going to show you this formula and how it works coming up right here on the Music Money Makeover Show. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Music Money Makeover Show. Let's hop right in. We got to talk about what a catalog record actually is. And when we're done with this, I'll walk you through a live auction that's happening right now so you can understand how this actually works. So a record that is older than 18 months is considered a catalog record. A record older than 3 years will be considered investable and a less risky investment than a record that has just entered its 19th month of age. So even though a record is considered a catalog record at 18 months, check this out. In order to evaluate your catalog properly, we will need a full 3 years of royalty history to properly give the catalog record a valuation. Now that you got that, let's take a slow walk through the next step. How valuation actually works. Valuation works on a method called LTM, the last 12 months, and a set premium over the LTM, which is a multiple. Okay. So for instance, if you had $10,000 of royalty earnings in the last 12 months, we want to multiply that by the number of years that the song has been on the market. And that will equal an estimated total value earned over the life of the catalog. So before you ask the next question, because I know you're going to ask it, it's on the next page, just hear me out. From this equation, you can then determine how much premium will be placed on the catalog to purchase it. Usually the premium is going to be set by how many years the song is already on the market and how much royalties the song has accumulated. So for instance, if you've done $10,000 in the last 12 months, then we're going to average that $10,000 and say that you earned that over the last 3 years. That gives us $30,000. Now we take that $30,000 and then we put our multiple on top, which is a 3.33334x multiple, essentially multiplying it by that. And then we get $100,000 valuation. Simple, right? Well, not exactly, because let's say in the last 12 months, you made $10,000, but in the previous months before that, you made less than the $10,000. This is a very risky investment that I've got in front of me because I only have, only 12 months of data that's saying that, okay, we made $10,000, but I don't know how much extra money you've actually made. I would have to take a look at your full financial statement and all your royalty statements to determine this. I'm just doing this just for this video. That's why you don't see the other part. Now, what if I made, because I know this is your question, what if I made more than $10,000 in the last 12 months? This is what I was getting at. The LTM of the last 12 months data is a weighted average that safeguards the investor. Because if we're being honest, all of the money that has already been deposited into your accounts is of no use to the investor other than ensuring that you're going to keep making more money. Therefore, the last 12 months will allow an investor to safeguard their bet against the future since the music business is so volatile. On top of this, the age of the song, or catalog further ensures that the investor will make their money back. More age plus a high last 12 months royalty amount equals a high premium sale, where I'm saying you can sell your catalog for 3x, 4x, 5x, 6x, 10x over the price that you made in the last 12 months. Okay, so let's go back through it one more time before we do the live example later in the video. $10,000 in the last 12 months times the number of years on the market, which was 3, would give us an estimated total value earned over the life of the catalog, which is $30,000. We then take that $30,000, the investor guesses or assumes that, well, if it's been making $10,000 consistently over the last 3 years, I'm going to give you a 3.33x multiple to equal $100,000. That would ensure that I make my money back in 3.3 years. And then we would do something else that I'm going to show you later called a term, where we would say, okay, either we set a term or we're going to do it for the life. But now the investor knows he's going to make his $100,000 back. Your catalog is valued at $100,000 due to the last 12 months of royalties. And then now we're good to go. Okay, that's how you got your valuation of $100,000. Right now you're risky. 3 years, you have a risky catalog. It ain't old yet, right? We can get this money, but we got to have a high royalty amount to get this 3x multiple here. Now let's keep going. Our goal is to grow a group of songs over 36 months to achieve $10,000 in revenue in the last 12 months of their existence to sell to an investor at 3.33334 times its value, giving us a $100,000 valuated catalog. This is essentially an inverse record deal. And what I mean by that is you came to the table with value. Now you can actually make a deal on that value to get money out of the value, or let's just say a farmer raised some crops. The farmer can now sell those crops if they need the money to further invest and grow their LLC or their business that they're building. Okay, let's keep rolling. How are we going to get there, Casey? Well, we got to appreciate our intellectual property, our copyrights, our songs. Okay, so appreciation means to increase the monetary value of the intellectual property. In many cases, the perception will outweigh the reality for many people, okay? So therefore, if we increase the perception by a quality presentation, means your marketing materials, and we communicate clearly why the public needs to hear our music, which is really just creating great music and putting it out, then our perception will appear bigger than what the reality of the value of the catalog is, even if you're just starting. Appreciate your talent by showing it some love and giving it a proper display to the public. Videos, content, the song itself, the recordings and how they sound, all of this at a high level, okay? Your catalog must be displayed in a high quality manner at all times to achieve maximum perception, which then gives us a potential maximum appreciation of the actual catalog. Okay, how are we going to do this again, Casey? Well, the money is going to come through licensing. Licensing will give us the money we need to validate the value of our catalog. All revenue from music comes to us through licensing. From TuneCore, synchronization, and any publishing royalties received, it is all license revenue. Pause for a second. If you want to increase the value of your catalog, you want to work on your streams, you want to work on direct sales to your fan base, and you also want to work on getting a sync agent. Because if an investor sees that you're making money through synchronization and streams plus direct sales to your fan base, they're going to be extremely happy and give you way more than a 3x multiple on the value of your last 12 months. Synchronization alone, letting an investor know you have a song stabilized in a sync catalog, makes them really happy, especially if the song is actually being synced. Especially if it's going viral on TikTok and Instagram and people are using it and dancing to it and you did all the promotional steps. Especially if it's getting streams on TuneCore. We cooking with gas and grease. We got the whole kitchen pop. We got the whole restaurant popping at this point. You see what I'm saying? Now our catalog is supremely valuable. Okay, protection. Let's talk about it, because this is a hidden step to increasing your catalog's value. People who buy catalogs want to know who owns them. They want to be sure that this is legit. Otherwise, how could they buy from you? It's a real good question. If your catalog is organized through means of protection, then your potential buyers will add this value to your catalog because of your attention to detail and quality control. Just a little side note there, because I know a lot of people don't copyright their records. They don't copyright their songs. I preach this day in, day out on the channel. At least I try to, that you should do this. This is necessary. You know what I mean? For reasons like this. So let's talk about our revenues and our earnings. In order to know the real value of your catalog, we must track the actual revenue received from the catalog. We do this through royalty management software, or if you're savvy enough, you can do your own spreadsheets. I don't really recommend it because the royalty management software can really help you out with time management. However, to get an investor on the hook, you will need your financials in order. so the purchaser can audit your earnings. The more organized you are at going for this method right here, the better off you will be. And we're going to talk about an alternative method rather than selling what you have in a second. So you want to have all of this together before you make a proposition to an investor or the next party I'm going to talk about soon. Promotion, let's get on it. The catalog must be promoted in order for revenue to increase and its perceived value to increase. According to your plan, faking it until you make it when it comes to the quality in which you deliver your product to the market will be key in order to stand out amongst the noise. What I mean by that is, I know you don't have a lot of money, but if we can find a way to increase the quality of the music videos we shoot, to increase the quality of the content we shoot, to make it look like we spent a lot of money on our content, to make it look like we spent a lot of money on the frequency of us posting because we have so many posts coming out. That means we're doing a lot of scheduling. You know what I mean? Then that will increase the perceived value again, but it also gets us above the noise. Promotion is all about cutting through the noise by making even louder noise. That's what it is. Okay. Now, tax benefits. Selling will be considered income on your behalf, but because you held the catalog in an LLC, for all my 60-day record label course holders, you can now use that money to further grow the LLC itself tax-free, so long as you have a play. Play's got to be set up for this now. You got to have the whole play set up to get this money. Because you can get the money without a play and then you'll end up having to pay tax on it. But if you got the play set up, then we're going to make this money, we're going to reinvest it, and it's going to be tax-free. Okay? So I hope you got a full strategy set up to make this play happen. Now, why would I do this instead of asking for the money up front, like in a record deal? In many cases, the artist will need cash at a 0% interest rate to further invest in what they are building. I've said this before on the channel, and selling a portion of your catalog can help you with funding. Secondly, if you're seeking a record deal, you can use the same structure to accurately see the potential amount a label may offer you. Now, some people do not want to deal with record labels, which is why they choose this. They just need, I need the money for, I got to do something in my life, something's going on, or I'm trying to do some other things in my life. I want to cash out, but I want to keep my publishing independent. I don't want to deal with a major. Cool, this option is for you, plus the other options I'm going to introduce. Can anyone do this? Yes, you can either do this on a market exchange like Royalty Exchange, which I'm going to show you in a minute, or privately once you learn the lingo of the game. How many songs should I include in the catalog? As many songs as you want that keep the value up. As many songs as you want, so long as you can keep the value up of the catalog. Now, why would I put the songs in an LLC? Great question. So you can do business with the LLC by receiving the funds through it for lots of major tax and security benefits. I would not complete a sale of this valuation through my name personally. I just would not do it. I don't know anybody in this game, the music game, who operates correctly that is doing things in their personal name. I don't know an attorney that would allow it. I don't know a record label that would allow it. Well, actually, record labels would kind of allow it because they don't really care once they get the licenses and stuff. But anyway, I don't know anybody who would just be so absent-minded to do this. That's why I recommend this in the 60-day record label. Can I go to a bank with my valuation? This is what I was going to get to. You absolutely can. However, it won't be interest-free. Just make sure you pay down the interest first, okay? So that loan makes sense. You want to make sure you do that. But yes, you can go to a private investor privately. You can go through an exchange like Royalty Exchange, which I recommended. You could then actually go to a real record label like some of the big three and make this transaction happen. You could also go to a bank. And then on the flip side, for some of those who, let's say they went to ASCAP or they went to BMI to get that advance, which I don't know why some of these people I'm going to show you did not do that, but maybe they did and it wasn't enough money. You could do that as well. With that being said, before I get into my example in a minute, if you are a producer, an artist, a singer, a songwriter, or a new music exec who wants to build your record or publishing company in 60 days or less without searching all over the internet for the broken links and the lost information and misinformation, I got you covered. We'll get it done in 60 days with my 60-day record label course. What we're going to do is build a strong LLC foundation to handle all this intellectual property that we talked about today, so you can build this high valuation catalog. And then you learn how to play the game via contract, because how else would you know how to sell this thing at the right time? And then on top of that, you'll be set to collect domestic and international publishing royalties without the middleman taking 15%. All this stuff you see on the bottom right-hand corner is included. Click the link below to get started today. But if this is your first time watching the channel, grab the free stuff below, 10 major steps to increase your record label's profits. Now, valuing your catalog is an advanced move. However, it's not hard to do with a little elbow grease. This will allow you to know your worth at all times, so someone won't shortchange you on your music's value. It also helps you form an exit plan for the music business if you ever want to hit a mark and exit this business. Okay, so those are kind of the points why people want to do it. But not valuing your catalog is a beginner's move. You'll never understand what you're truly worth. And if you don't know what you're worth, you won't be able to recognize your true potential beyond creating the music itself. And we don't want to do that. I know that, a lot of you all create. You're probably going to need managers or assistants in your corner to help you value your catalog. But if you don't value your catalog, you can't measure the success that you're actually having. And this is really done through the royalty statements and the money that actually comes in. So you want to be able to do that. All right, now let's jump into an example. What I'm on right now is a site called Royalty Exchange, and I'm going to explain to you how this method works. I like this song by Tupac, Still Ballin', so I'm gonna use this particular transaction. The last 12 months of earning, well, let's go to the catalog first at the very bottom. Let's see here, click to see. They got a lot of tracks. They got 38 tracks listed in this catalog right here. This looks like an independent producer who's doing this, and Still Ballin' the Nitty remix. All right. I don't know if this is Nitty from Young Jock or what. I don't know. But anyway, that record is pushing a lot of stuff for this producer. And what they're doing is they're giving up music composition, royalties. No rights are included in this transaction. Mechanical, public performance, and sync royalties are all included in this particular transaction. Let's look at what they've generated in the last 12 months. In the last 12 months, this catalog has generated, all those songs you saw at the bottom, has generated $20,000 in the last 12 months. They don't have a 3-year average here, but we can go down to the bottom and pull that out of the financials. Actually, they don't have the financials for the 3-year average. So that would be great if they did, but they don't. So, okay. $20,000 in the last 12 months. If we take that and we multiply it by 3, that's roughly $66,000, something like that. $60,696, something like that. Anyway, let's just say $61,000 have been earned in the last 3 years. The earnings since 2022 has been $25,797. The dollar age, which is the length of time that the catalog has actually been on the market, or the age of the catalog, is 14 years, and there are 38 tracks included. The term is for the life of rights, or the life of copyrights of all of the musical compositions. Now, this auction is going to be available all the way up until May 31st, 2024, and they're actively making things happen. This is a live auction right now. The seller wants to get at least $200,000 for the catalog at a 9.89 multiple over the times the LTM, which is the last 12 months. So he's looking to get at least 9 years worth of royalties right now. But the investors are only investing at a 5.73 multiple over the last 12 months. So they're giving him 5 times, or roughly 5.73 years of royalties for what he's done in the last 12 months. You see what I'm saying? You see how this works? Everything works on the last 12 months because, like I said, the music is very volatile. Now, as you can see, you can look down here in the pricing and you can see what has happened from the beginning. Investors started at 75.5. Of course, that would be rejected if they were looking for 10 years. They started very, very low. For me, I wouldn't have started that low. As an investor, I probably would have met them halfway at 100,000. But you can see that the seller is like, nah, I want more. And they're coming down. They came down maybe, what is that? 2%. They came down 2%, and the investor is at $100,000, right? So they're not moving much. they're playing cat and mouse. They're each going up by $1,000 or $500, right? They're playing the game here. 98,000, 103, 104, 105, 198. The investor really wants almost $10,000. I mean, almost a 10x multiple on the last 12 months. And this was the counter offer, and this is the seller counter offer. If I'm an investor, this investor wants to make their money back in 5 years. And the only reason why the investor is giving him a 5x multiple instead of close to what he wants is because there's not enough financials. He doesn't have enough financial data. And there was a big spike right here. So that lets the investor know that, hey, either something went viral and it's going to go away. So that doesn't shore up my bet. So I'm going to give you less than what you're asking for. And I'm going to bet on this, on the average of this, but really this right here. This area right here is what I'm going to bet on, and not this right here, because something happened that was big right here. And if I don't have the information on what happened right there, and if that was the case, then it's not worth it. Let's go and look at one more thing and we'll get out of here. We'll close out the video. Oh, something new just came on the market today. It's fixed return. I won't explain that. Let's go into something a little bit more cheaper. Let's see. Let's go to, well, no, let's stay on par with the video. I'll talk about, no, that's just a little bit too old. That Bow Wow catalog, that's a good buy right there for the Bow Wow record. I think it's for Let Me Hold You, I think. And there's a Ray J record on here for sale too. Let's go into this one. Bryson Tiller, Kid Cudi, and whatnot. All right. So this one's good because it has a lot of data for us to go over. The term of this deal is for 30 years. So the buyer will only be allowed to make money in the next 30 years after the transaction is closed. And this is a live auction as well. It's got 53 hours left on this offer. So in the last 12 months, the catalog has made $13,373 in the last 3 years. This is a great look right here. In the last 3 years, it has made $13,059. So it's pretty good. It's pretty steady. It's holding steady. The earnings since 2016 have been $53,449. And the age of the catalog is 3.64 years old. There are 17 tracks included here. And they're going to let this go for a 30-year term. And then they want their royalties not back, but they want the share back that the buyer will be making royalties off of. The highest offer has been a 4.41 multiple over the last 12 months, meaning that the investor wants their money back in 4.41 years, or roughly 4.5 years. And the seller of the catalog wants to make at least 7 years of royalties right now for the last 12 months of data. Okay. So they want to at least make 7 years of royalties on this catalog today. It all depends on your risk as an investor. This catalog is a bit risky. It hasn't gotten to the point where 5 years it's over. Of course, you know from a previous video, I think I've said in a previous video, a retroactive period doesn't initiate until 15 years. So right now we've got a lot of time for these records and the royalty amounts to go down and diminish. So this is why it's early. It's a risky bet at 3.64 years. And this is why the investor wants to invest only $59,000 instead of a 7-year investment at $95,000. It's just too early. The catalog's too young. Even though it's generating great royalties, it's just not enough. Okay. So with that being said, this is kind of what you're going to be dealing with. This is why I said, if we could do $10,000 for every single year the song was out, then we could at least get a 3.3x multiple. Easy. You can kind of see what investors are going for. Let's go into something that has a young dollar age. One more thing. Let's see. Oh, Big Frida's got some. Oh, somebody who's worked with Big Frida has something on here. List price had a 4.4x. 3 years. Average 3 years is $2,100. Last 12 months is $4,000. Earnings since 2009. Okay, this is a very young catalog. 72 tracks included. They threw a bunch of junk in here. That's what that is. Last transaction price was $12,500. Life of Rights. I don't know if that one's worth the buy. They had a big spike. Something went viral. Something came out, and then that's the end. I don't know if I want to do that one. This looks like a bad deal right here. Okay. All right. Anyway, the video's been long enough. Let me get out of here. And let's close it out. Now you have a bit more knowledge to move from a beginner stage in this game to making boss moves in no time, if you will. And right, this stuff can really set you up for the future. So music money makers, if you make music, you should always make money. Log on to musicmoneymakeover.com, jump into the 60-day record label course today, grab the free stuff below, book a call there on musicmoneymakeover.com, and I'll see you next time. Peace.